From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Thursday, June 4th. Another warm one today. Hit the 80s again. There is a threat for a spotty evening thunderstorm this evening with lows in the upper 60s. Friday will be partly sunny, warm, and humid with still a slight chance for a thunderstorm. Highs will be in the middle 80s again. Today, guests gathered for a memorial service in honor of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Reverend Al Sharpton, the founder of the National Action Network, delivered a eulogy to honor Floyd's life. Before the service, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey was seen paying his respects at Floyd's casket. The mayor kneeled and then broke down and cried beside the casket. Other memorials are planned for where Floyd was born and raised there in Houston. On Tuesday, there will be a private service at an undisclosed location. And protesters continue to rally across the country following his killing. It's the first of several memorials today that was planned over the course of 6 days. All 4 former Minneapolis police officers involved in George Floyd's death now have been charged, and charges were elevated for one former officer from 3rd to 2nd degree murder. The other former officers will be charged with aiding and abetting. Former Defense Secretary Jim Mattis is calling out President Trump for not uniting Americans as protests nationwide have intensified over Floyd's death. Mattis released a statement calling the protests consequences of 3 years of Trump's deliberate effort to divide Americans. He goes on to denounce Trump's use of military force during protests at the White House. The president responded on Twitter by calling Mattis the world's most overrated general. Here in Indianapolis, today we learned who the special prosecutor will be in the investigation into the May 6 shooting of Dreasjon Reed. Marion Superior Court Judge Heather Welch appointed Rosemary Corey of Madison County. Reed was shot and killed by Indianapolis police after he streamed himself leading police on a chase live on Facebook. The video captured the chase, Reed pulling over and running off, then the sound of several gunshots. Then silence, then an officer mentioning how Reed will need to have a closed casket. Just today, faith leaders spoke with a sense of urgency, advocating about the deaths in the state of Reed, Eric Logan last June, and Aaron Bailey in June of 2017. Faith in Indiana says more than 1,000 people have emailed Mayor Hogsett on wanting change within the Indianapolis Police Department. The group has come up with a Live Free agenda, a 7-point plan for police reform. To strengthen police use of force policy, enact a progressive discipline policy, de-escalation and procedural justice training, group violence intervention recommendations, respond to mental health crisis with treatment, not incarceration, remove unfair protections for officers, and require independent investigations. The Indiana State Fair has been canceled due to the impact of the coronavirus. Fair officials announced that today. The State Fair Commission and the Indiana State Fair Board also announced a modified State Fair 4-H livestock show with additional activities. The alternative festivities will be held at the Indiana State Fairgrounds in August. Indiana State Fair Commission Chairman Brad Chambers said vendors and partners began falling off, and so they pivoted. Cindy Hoy, executive director of the Fair Commission, said in a statement, "Safety is our number one priority. We've spent months working through options that would allow us to host the fair. Agriculture and youth are the foundation of our mission and the heartbeat of the Indiana State Fair. So we are determined and proud to honor our 4-H members with a version of that State Fair experience that allows Indiana's youth to be recognized for their dedication and hard work." Last year, nearly 879,000 people attended the fair. The NBA's Board of Governors gives basketball the green light for 22 teams at least, and the Indiana Pacers is one of them. There will be 9 teams from the Eastern Conference and 13 from the West. Teams must be within 6 games of a playoff spot. The plan allows players to get back to team site training next month. Then, at the end of July, teams would start full training camps in Orlando, Florida. Under the plan, playoffs would start in August, and the finals would be in October. Indiana Democrats will listen together but apart today in the next step in choosing candidates. As the only statewide TV news network, Wish TV will broadcast critical speakers this evening ahead of the Indiana Democratic Convention. Usually, hundreds of Indiana's top Democrats would gather for the convention, but like so many events this year, the COVID-19 pandemic has changed the plan. Instead, the Indiana Democratic Convention will be a virtual one, and you can watch it all right here on Wish TV. The biggest names slated to speak today include Dr. Woody Myers, the Democratic Party candidate for governor, and former presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg. They'll address Indiana Democratic Convention delegates, along with the U.S. Representative Andre Carson of Indianapolis. After hearing the speakers tonight, the delegates will cast votes by mail. Then on July 13th, the Indiana Democratic Party will announce their Attorney General candidate from two hopefuls who are former Evansville Mayor Jonathan Weinzapfel and State Senator Karen Tallian of Portage. Both will have speeches during the virtual convention as well. It begins today at 5:30. Then on June 18th, Wish TV will air the Indiana Republican Convention. It all starts at 5:30 p.m. as well. Republicans will nominate one of four hopefuls, including incumbent Attorney General Curtis Hill, to run for his office in November. This has been your News 8 Daily 8. For Wish TV, I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.